Today, after more than a year of brutal and bloody war, a ceasefire and hostage deal was struck between Israel and Hamas as Israelis and Gazans alike took to the streets.
Joy and relief on the streets of Gaza. Removing his protective vest and helmet as he announces the ceasefire, a reporter is lifted up by a jubilant crowd. Celebrations echoing throughout the war zone. While in Israel, they prayed.
It's like a roller coaster. I'm not breathing right now. It's scary. It's scary.
A monumental breakthrough against seemingly insurmountable odds after more than 460 days of deadly and devastating war. In 50 hours, the fighting will stop.
After 8 months of non-stop negotiation by my administration, a ceasefire and a hostage deal has been reached by Israel and Hamas.
The ceasefire to begin on Sunday, Israel time, hours before Donald Trump's return to the White House.
Netanyahu was very much afraid, watching Trump twisting like a tornado on the horizon coming in. Would he get the same kind of deal?
Who took credit for this, Mr. President, you or Trump?
Is that a joke? Oh, thank you.
A potential pathway out of the horror at last. The ceasefire is a multi-stage plan. The first stage, lasting 6 weeks, will see the partial withdrawal of Israeli troops, a surge of aid into Gaza, and the staggered release of 33 Israeli hostages, starting with women, the elderly, and the wounded.
Israel will negotiate the necessary arrangements to get phase 2, which is a permanent end of the war.
The third and final stage, the reconstruction of Gaza.
What they worry about is that after phase 1, there won't be a phase 2 because the ceasefire will not necessarily hold.
I'm sorry to say we're stopping the bleeding, but there's a long way to heal.
For now, those caught in the crossfire united, however fleetingly, by fragile hope. For some, that their loved ones will return.
There won't be any more opportunities like this. It's time to bring home our people.
For others, that the guns over Gaza will fall silent at last.
It's time to prove that humanity can win. Don't let us down.
We're joined now by Palestinian journalist Abubaker Abed, who is in Deir al Balah in the central Gaza Strip. Abubaker, we've seen footage just there of Gazans celebrating. How are you feeling right now?
It's an indescribable feeling, really. But unfortunately, there have been intense attacks over the past 2 days, particularly overnight. Many casualties have arrived here in the hospital. And just like moments before talking to you, I saw how mothers were wailing over the bodies of their loved ones and just the tears in their eyes before a very, very, a very long-awaited time, which is the ceasefire. But, their loved ones haven't made it. The mothers have made it, but they haven't made it. And yet the morgue inside the hospital is still reflecting a very traumatic picture. People are still crying in pain over the losses, the unbearable losses of their loved ones and family members, and it continues like this. So people here, including me, hope that the ceasefire will be implemented today as fast as possible, because we cannot lose anybody anymore. And at the same time, I could see yesterday the happiness on the face of every single one, particularly children, because we've been traumatized, we've been going through a lot, we've been stripped of our humanity in the past, and it's our time now to have that moment, to enjoy it, and to rebuild together.
Well,
every single
Abubaker,
one.
the rebuilding is the part I'm really interested in. I mean, your story tells us how desperate the situation has been, and also how much of a relief a ceasefire would be. But then there's the recovery. And under the deal, the reconstruction of Gaza is phase 3. So that doesn't happen immediately. What's meant to happen in the meantime? Where do people live?
I think the first thing that will happen is the return of people to their houses in the north, which they have been displaced from since the outbreak of this genocidal war. They will be going back to their houses after 7 days when the ceasefire gets underway on Sunday. And
sorry, Abubaker, I don't mean to interrupt there, but I'm interested in that point. Are their houses still there?
No. Israel had destroyed more than 70% of the housing units inside Gaza. There is unfathomable carnage all across every inch inside Gaza. So it's a heartbreaking time. But I've been hearing from people around me, and they've told me, those who have been displaced, internally displaced, and they told me that they want to get back to the rubble of their houses. It's better than being displaced in another, part of the Gaza Strip. This is the main thing, because the feeling of safety is now really important for them, because they have been deprived of it since the start on October the 7th.
Just finally, on a personal level, how do you expect your life to change in the next few months?
Well, there's not much change. We have to be honest, because we're still, even when the ceasefire gets underway and there's no more wars in Gaza, we're still occupied. People have to understand that, because I'm trapped in Gaza. But I still feel happy that there is still a little relief and respite from the incessant horrors that I've been through for the past 14 months, which is incredibly harrowing and devastating. I really want to heal up, because my mental health has been devastated by the continuous bombardments and the fear and the panic. And also, I really want to feel the joy with my family. Now I can go outside, I can complete my education. I haven't completed it. So I want to get back to my life. I want to really rebuild my university, which has been reduced to rubble. I also want to be with my family, want to see my friends, want to grieve the loss of my very dearest friend, Hassan Mata, who was killed last December 2023, and my family members who were killed. So we still have pain in our hearts, but now is our time to grieve our losses, to mourn our deaths, and to feel that we are human again. We are humans again, because the world has let us down since this war started. I will do all the things that I wanted to become. I want to do my education. I want to be that football reporter that I've always desired since my childhood. So this is what I want. And this is now the dreams that have been shattered and that have been destroyed over the past time of the course of this genocide now will be rebuilt. Everyone has a dream. Everyone had a tragedy during this time. Now we want to make sure that we will forget about those tragedies completely. And we will rebuild our dreams. We will pursue them, and we will have our life back.
Oh, Abubaker, well, we will be there cheering you on. We cannot wait for you to be reporting on your football game. Please carry that hope with you as long as possible. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. You're so welcome.
Oh, what an incredible, incredible man.